Cougar fans, use this radio station tomorrow morning for important news updates. Listen to Utah's most important radio station tomorrow morning from 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
It's so strange to me watching college football this late in January, watching Ohio State.
It's horrible, Mitch. This has no juice. This is not fun. Ohio State, Notre Dame. It's a week too late.
Ohio State up 14-7. It's 4:53 left in the second quarter. You know, the 12-team playoff, you knew there's going to be some scheduling quirks that were going to be different. I love the 12-team playoff. I think it's a great thing. But, yes, this feels a little bit weird because, you know, we're on this show here on Cougar Nation, Mitch, Harper, Matt Baiamonte with you. You know, we're neck deep now in basketball, and it just feels like we've all kind of collectively, as a college sports society, turn the page to hoops, except for these two fan bases that are like, we're still playing football. I mean, BYU football is about a week now into winter conditioning for 2025. They've got their 2025 roster. It's coming together, whereas these two teams haven't settled anything for 2024. I don't know. It's just kind of hard to compute in my brain of, wow, there's college football being played on January 20th. You're right. It does feel like it lacks a little bit of juice here.
The whole calendar's got to be moved up, and maybe that's eliminate a game. Maybe that's get rid of the conference championship games, but you should have the Final Four on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and then a week later the championship game. And then we're off to college hoops and NFL playoffs, but this is way too late. And I haven't given college football a thought in weeks, and it's kind of a bummer that the biggest game in college football, Mitch, is just swept under the rug. Like, from a football perspective, we're all talking about the Final Four in football and how great of a day in the NFL we had yesterday where Puka and the Rams had a chance to steal a game from the Eagles. Like, Puka made an unbelievable catch at the end of that game, and then Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid in the rematch in the AFC. Like, that's where the attention is on football, and yet this game is being played, and it's just a bummer because you and I, we love college football. We grew up on college football. College football is the best, and it needs to have a spotlight, and it needs to have a postseason that makes sense, and we're getting there, little by little, but this game has got to be played a lot sooner.
I agree. It's been a clinic so far for Ohio State QB Will Howard. He's 11 of 11 already, so Buckeyes up by 7. Well,
how would you fix this, Mitch? What are your thoughts on the playoff and the calendar, and what do you think makes sense for the sport?
I would ditch the conference championship games and get rid of those and find some sort of tiebreaker to figure out who your conference champ is. But really in these supersized leagues where you don't play everyone, conference championships don't mean don't have as much significance. They're important from the standpoint of getting a bid to the playoff, but you want to also maintain your possible teams in the playoffs, so one less game to take hits and get rid of those games.
What do you think of this? Let me throw something wild at you. What if for the last week of the season it remained open and you slotted matchups? That could be the de facto conference championship game just a week earlier, and maybe teams 3 and 4 could also play for a chance to boost a resume for an at-large bid.
I like that too. I just think something's got to change on the calendar because this is a bit strange. Because we're thinking all about BYU basketball right now, and BYU's turning the page to tomorrow. They're already in Boulder. They just touched down there about an hour ago in Colorado. BYU versus Colorado in Boulder, 9 p.m. tip tomorrow night. So get your afternoon nap in when you get back to work from this 3-day holiday weekend.
How are we supposed to get our nap in if we have to go to work, Mitch?
Get your afternoon nap. Get ready for a late night. Pregame will start here on KSL at 8 p.m. I'll be inside the arena in Boulder with some coverage on KSLSports.com. But do you like BYU's chances of getting the bounce-back win, Matt? They are a favorite in this game.
No, I don't like their chances to get the bounce-back win. I'm just having a hard time talking myself into any road wins until they get one. This team desperately, as Kevin Young put it, Mitch, they need to find a way to win. This is what he said after the Utah game about these close games, man. It's almost a skill winning these close games.
We got to learn how to win close games. We're right there in all these games. We've got a chance to win. I just told our club in there, you win and lose games on the margins, in close games. And, we've come up short and too many times, and that's disappointing. I thought tonight we had a lot of resolve, with our back against the wall. We made a lot of necessary plays that we weren't making in other games. I thought our offensive execution was actually really good down the stretch. And so there is growth moments there, but we got to string together more things than we currently are.
Maybe the cure, Matt, is facing a team in Colorado that is winless in conference play, 0-6. But I will say this, watching a couple of their games, the last 3 games in their entirety, diving into them today, they have a player, 6'11", 185, Baiamonte Dak, who they put into their starting lineup last week. He's a sophomore. He has been a stud. Last week against Cincinnati, he had 8 block shots, 19 points, 8 rebounds. He was all over the place. So they've got talent, and this was always going to be viewed as a bridge year for Colorado this season after last year's team was really good. They got to the NCAA tournament. Tad Boyle's squad getting back into the Big 12. They've got the ability, and they've tested pretty much everyone on their home court. They had a close call against UCF, close call against West Virginia. They just can't get over the hump. They even were hanging tough with Iowa State to open league play. So I'm with you. I think this is going to be a very difficult game. I do believe BYU will win, though. I said the same thing against Utah, but I think BYU finds a way to get that first road win under head coach Kevin Young, and a much-needed win because I'll tell you, Matt, I don't want to get too reactionary, but I just feel like if you lose this game against a winless team, season really can nosedive.
The season's over if you lose. This is as close to a must-win as you can possibly get in college basketball at this point of the season because this team is not very good. And BYU, their confidence is fragile. And getting a win here, I think, would go a long way because then you come home. You have a late game later in the week against Cincinnati. You win out this week, I think you're in a much better position. If you lose this one, though, I don't know where you go. I don't know how you regain the confidence because the schedule is getting much more difficult soon.
Great show, Matt. We will talk to you on Saturday. BYU, Colorado tomorrow night, 9 o'clock tip, pregame at 8 here on KSL.